Hello, my name's George Richards. I'm head of social media here at SeaPigs, and today I'm talking with the ever-incredible Mick Armstrong, head of the herd. As you've gathered from the title of the video, we are asking the big question of why Brazil? So let's sort of just start from a nutshell of why Brazil, in your opinion, just very briefly. We'll go into more specifics later on, but...
The research around the materials, using only natural materials that we could grow, led us to Brazil because one of our main products is manufactured there and the other ones grow there. So it was our desire to make natural products. So rather than digging up oil from the ground and making that into a plastic or an EVA or a product, we wanted to grow our materials to make them into our product. So led into Brazil was because of sugarcane, natural rum and natural coke. We were led over to them.
And with the development process, what sort of led you to those three specific things? Obviously, there's millions of different elements, natural, non-natural. What specifically drew you to those three aspects of it?
Well, first of all, we started off looking for recycling, making our product out of recycled materials. But you find out then very quickly that you don't know what those materials are. So to reuse them, you've then got to go and break them down and research them. And it's just like trying to find a needle in a haystack. So the recycling of it wasn't going to work. And then we started understanding that recycling plastics creates more microplastics. So making a t-shirt out of recycled plastic bottles is actually not particularly good for the environment, because what you're doing is plastic doesn't break down, it breaks up. So it doesn't, like, you put a banana into the ground, the banana will disappear and the natural process of the earth will suck that in, take all the nutrients, the carbon, everything else, and disperse it. Plastic breaks into smaller and smaller pieces. So we didn't want to use plastic, so we looked for the best materials around, and we realised that being part of the regenerative economy where you grow your materials so that every year you can grow more and more and more and more. And what it does is when you grow your materials, instead of releasing carbon dioxide from stored fossil fuels, you're actually using carbon dioxide in the air via photosynthesis to create sugar to feed the plant. That is a far better process than digging up oil that's been stored from millions and millions of years ago and releasing that in the atmosphere. So the material side of it was what drew us to Brazil, and we found this amazing product made from sugar, which is, we branded it sugar rubber. But it's basically, what happens is the refined sugar industry grows the sugarcane. They use what they need to make refined sugar. Our factory in Brazil called Brascoms, they take that, what's left of that byproduct, and they turn that into an EVA that we call sugar rubber. And what's left of that material, they turn into what they call bagasse in Brazil, which is biofuel, and they fuel the factory and the two surrounding cities. Even the water waste from the byproduct from the sugarcane industry is used to fertilise the next year of crops. So it's what you call a closed loop process. There's no waste. Everything's being reused and recycled. So that factory in Brazil makes one of the major components of the drifter, which is sugar rubber. That's one of the reasons why we went there. Then we realised that we could get other natural materials there as well. So that's what drew us to Brazil, is the fact that the way we're making our materials and making our product is a closed loop, so we're not having any detrimental effect on the planet, or we're having a less detrimental effect on the planet. So the fact that we've got to ship the drifters, and we've done the maths on this, back to the UK, the fact that we're growing our materials and using a closed loop manufacturer, state-of-the-art factory in the world, means that it's negating the fact that we've got to ship them back to the UK. So it's far better for the environment in a nutshell, it's far better for us to make them in Brazil than it is here in the UK.
Yeah.
And Brazil is the forefront of sandal makers in the world as well. They're renowned for it.
Yeah, so I think that makes total sense then. So they've got the product, they've got the resources, they've got the knowledge. It just makes sense to do it.
Yeah, involved me in our team in Brazil, and the pandemic's been brilliant. For communication overseas, so there's lots of negatives come out of the pandemic, but communication overseas became the norm. So we were able to walk around the factory with Volmir on a mobile phone. I didn't need to be there. Volmir was there at the end of the phone, walking around the factory. He showed me how the production worked and the molds. So the pandemic has allowed us to have trust in video conferencing now, and it means that I didn't need to jump on a plane and fly to Brazil, which was my first intention.
Yeah.
So the distance of it now doesn't mean you have to go over. Don't mean I really want to go over and meet Volmir and shake his hand and all his teeth, but you don't have to.
Just quick, just to check, was it Volmir?
Volmir.
Volmir. So who is Volmir? Like, how do you get in contact with him?
Oh God, I mean, how many manufacturers have we been through? We started off in Vietnam, Taiwan, China. We spent a lot of time trying to find someone in the UK. Then we spent time in Turkey looking at. So we've done a lot of manufacturers. We've been in Brazil now a couple of years. We've been through 3 or 4 manufacturers, finding the right one. They've got the right health and safety, the right eco credentials. Yeah. It's the due diligence behind the scenes is quite vast. You don't want to make something and find out that they're spilling out waste or they're doing something wrong.
So that's sort of the one downside to like doing it, like, I don't want to say outsourcing, but outsourcing is like you've got no idea what's going on. Like, he's saying all this great stuff, but before you know, you could have like a barrel of toxic waste in the corner just not telling you about.
And you can only do due diligence so far. But so Volmir is part of the team in Brazil at the moment, and he's been with us a year now, and he's developed our prototype 51. So we got up to 50 before Volmir, and then prototype 51 has been all of Volmir's work. So getting the manufacturing right, finding out the weak points in the product, testing them, making the mould. So when you make footwear, you need moulds for it, and you need a mould for each size. So that's why we're doing size 8, because the mould was vastly expensive. So that's who Volmir is. He heads up the team in Brazil. So he's our main. There's other people as well that we talk to, but Volmir is sort of the project manager for the SeaPigs Drifters project.
That's pretty cool. I think it sounds like a great guy. Hopefully, I'll get to meet one day, although probably for a while because COVID's still around.
Yes, exactly.
So what is the process? So just sort of say like day one, you want to sort of like try to think what's the best way to phrase this. So it's day one, speaking to him, you say to him, right, want to make some sandals. How can you help? So how would that sort of work in relationship?
Well, there was a lot of work done before Volmir got involved. So we started. We used a rapid prototyping model, and that basically means that every month we were going to make a new prototype of the Drifter. And we started off, the first one was just a square piece of material.
You've seen it. It's great.
And every one just got better and better and better. And the whole point of that is, this is why I was you're making the Drifter every month to fail. So you make it and think, like, what did it fail on? What did it fail on? And then write those down and then try and fix those in the next one. So that every prototype you make, it could be 10 different things you change, or it could be only one. But you're learning what works well, but more importantly, you're learning what doesn't work. So that's why I say success is built on a lot of failures, and that's what our rapid prototyping model's about. So we started off making them ourselves, and Steve, our head of products, got a factory in Billingham, so a lot of this development work was done in the UK, very close to here. So we made our own, and we just kept making them better and better and better, and designing the straps with Newcastle University and the sole Newcastle University. We've used lots of academic specialists as well, CPI, lots of different people.
So yes, sort of in a nutshell, to summarise everything we sort of discussed today, the reason for using Brazil is they've got the products, they've got the resources, I sort of pair that with our knowledge and prior research, and just sort of makes great products.
Yes.
In a nutshell.
And then the materials we've chosen are perfect for your feet.
Yeah.
So this is the balance that I don't think people really understand, or I didn't understand, is the balance between sustainability and fit for purpose. We spent, I don't know how many different materials. We've gone from EVAs made from algae from the sea, algae from the rivers. We've looked at all sorts of different materials, that weren't perfect for footwear, or ones that were really sustainable weren't good for footwear, or ones that weren't sustainable were great for footwear. And we've gone through loads of different materials to find the right ones that are good for the planet, great for your feet, or perfect for your feet. So it's that balance in it.
Well, one thing I have to ask, I was speaking to the team in Brazil. What was their first thought when you said to them, right, I've got this idea for sandals that we need your help with, please help? Like, what was their sort of like reaction to it? Because obviously it's like, on paper, almost like, I don't want to say bizarre product, but like definitely. It
is bizarre product, especially with the 3-layer sole works, which we're not going to go into. Yeah. They were sceptical at first, really sceptical at first. And then when they made the first one, so although it was prototype 51, we made lots of different ones up to that way. And then the directors tried them on and felt them, and then they got really involved in it, and they love the product now. It is innovative. There's no two ways about how I designed it. I was part of the design team, for want of a better word. But it does mould and adapt to your feet, and it's been tested by Dr. Brooke Allen and Mike Gerritz. it is going to benefit your feet. It's like a trainer, or better than a trainer, but with two straps holding together, so that your feet stay cool.
I think it's cool that like the team are so invested in it, like just on a personal level. Cause, like if they enjoy the product, you just know that it's that sort of reassurance of like they enjoy the product. We know that they like the environment. So they're really going to put the effort in to make sure that the best they can possibly make them, which will be great for us and anyone who does buy them down the line. So it just sort of sounds like a happy win for everyone.
Yeah, I mean the big thing that me and Steve heard of product left to do is to finalise what we're making the drifters into. Now we ideally want to make them back into drifters. We've got to test that. Now we've got the products. Me and Steve have already started testing what we're going to do, how we're going to reuse the drifters. Because to make a truly circular economy, you've got to keep reusing materials over and over again. Yeah. So there's still a lot of design and research to go behind the scenes, but it's all looking very positive. And using natural materials makes it easier to recycle and reuse things than if you use too many composite items.
Yeah, so that's all. For anyone who's ever been curious, that's why we're doing Brazil. Although there are some great manufacturers in the UK, they don't quite have the resources or sort of the pre-made factories ready to go, because the UK unfortunately is still very reliant on plastic and such in our factories.
It is.
So, yep, so that's why we've got the wonderful team in Brazil doing incredible jobs, and hopefully we'll soon be seeing the products, for lack of a better term, of the fruits of their labour, that's the phrase, the fruits of their labour on your own feet in the near future, if you just check the website right now. So thanks for talking about Brazil there.
Cheers, George.
Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.